right, Snap Tackle Pod time. High school football fans, welcome to it. It's your preeminent high school football podcast for the Kansas City high school area. I'm Mick Shaffer of KSHB 41 Sports. That is Dion Clisso of PrepsKC at PrepsKC.com. What's up, Dion?
Not much, man. Rainy Wednesday night as we film this.
Yeah.
It's supposedly going to rain for 2 days, and it'll definitely be football weather on Friday night. And this
Getting colder finally.
It's getting colder. This used to be the week that you had some decent games. They made the
when was this the week we had decent games? Because this
not in Kansas.
This is the worst week ever.
They won
every year
16.
of high school football.
In Missouri, it used to be, 6 had 32, 1 through 4 had 64, and then 5 was the catch-all. 5, you didn't have that many good games. But that meant you had 18 full districts. So if you had a really good district like the Class 4, like usually District 8 up north of the river with like Smithville and Platte County and Kearney and Winnetonka and St. Joe Lafayette and Excelsior Springs, there was one year that 6 of the 8 teams had 1 loss or less. And then like the other 2 teams, like the worst record in the district was like 4 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
And that, you get some good 3-6 matchups. Well, those are kind of over now that they've spread it out evenly between 2 and 5. So it's not necessarily it's not a great week this week on both sides.
It's hard to find. You should drop your Remax Big 3 down to like a Big 1. All right, like one game on each side, because it might not even be that. But the good news is on the horizon, you can't decide what I like better, semifinal week or like quarterfinal week. Both. Quarterfinals, you have great games, you have more of them. Semifinals, you have great games, but obviously just one per class a lot of times, right?
Yeah.
Kansas and Missouri, at least the sides that we cover. In quarterfinals, you have double that, right? So it's good.
Well, and in quarterfinal week on both sides of the state line, you also have Missouri Class 6 semifinals.
Yes.
So that kind of adds it a little bit in there too.
That's right. So Class 6, we'll get over the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Yep.
All the other classes pretty much will get over the week after that, right?
Yeah. And
so they're in line with Kansas. Kansas gets done the Saturday after Thanksgiving. It's weird. They start off not together, then they catch back up together, and then Missouri kind of branches out even some more.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a fun run, and who knows, this year you could have very easily have two Kansas City teams in 2 separate semifinals in Class 6, vying to go to the state championship.
Love for that to happen on the Kansas side too in 6A. Have maybe the Lawrences,
yes.
one of them playing someone from the east side. That would be cool to have for once. Hey, I want to get into this before we get into the games from last week and this week. Bubba Starling retiring from sports. I'm guessing. I don't think he'll go back to Nebraska at age 29 or 30 or whatever he's at.
I think he'll still hunt. Probably.
He'll still hunt. That'll
hunt
count.
Fish. Yeah.
Loving, fishing, hunting every day or whatever the song goes.
And, though I always had a guy who worked at the Examiner with me said that hunting isn't a sport because if the other side doesn't know it's playing, it's not a sport.
Right. Exactly. The other side doesn't get any guns. But I never saw Darren Sproles play. So that caveat out there, Bubba Starling was the best high school football player I've ever seen personally in the Kansas City area. Where does he rank for you?
Oh, he's right up there with the Liddell Betts and Darren Sproles and people like that. And I think people.
Were you here for Sproles and Betts?
I saw him on TV. Yeah, I covered Betts. I've been at Betts games.
Okay.
And I saw Sproles on TV. On someplace.
Well, so did I. I'm just saying, like
I covered Betts live. And he was a man.
I mean, NFL guys that those can count. Yes.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like Sproles. I think they played Lee Summit North one year, and I didn't cover that game. I mean, they had like a home and home with Lee Summit North a couple times, and I didn't cover that game during that time. But no, it's excuse me as I drink water. I'm battling a little bit of a cold here, and my throat's got to dry out on me really quick. This is we take a little, pull the curtain back. This is the same day we record our radio show, so I've been kind of at this for a while, and by the time the night comes.
Listen, you're a man of spoken word, Dion. Okay, you got to rally.
I don't know if I'll be the man of the spoken word tomorrow. We'll see what happens. But no, Bubba was fantastic, and real nice guy. I talked to him a few times, and ironically, a couple of years ago, for my son's birthday, we in 2019 we got him tickets behind the dugout. It was late in the season, and Bubba was up, and they're pregame, and that's the perfect place to get stuff signed is right behind the dugout. And We were over there by the thing, and he comes in, and I was like, "Hey, Bubba," I said, "I don't know if you remember PrepsKC." He's like, "Oh yeah, yeah." And that was kind of cool because he was for those who don't know, and there's probably a lot who don't. There was a PrepsKC magazine the first 4 years.
Yes.
And the first and the middle section was 2 matching features, a Kansas feature and a Missouri feature. And Bubba was, of course, the first Kansas feature. That was his senior year, our first year. Do you have any idea who the Missouri feature was?
In 2010.
2010. I'll give you a hint.
Yeah. Hold on. Nathan Schillhouse.
No, he was already gone by then.
He was gone. Blaine Dalton. Is he gone? In honor of your Blue Springs South hat. There.
Yes. North of the river.
North of the river. I was going to say Gavin Warmack next.
Running back north of the river. He was also a senior. Was kind of the first star for this team that would go on to produce many stars.
Was it Carney?
No, Staley. I'll give you Staley. You probably don't remember this guy. He's now coaching.
Oh yeah, no, I remember him. But not the Simone Award winner.
No, not Trent Hosick.
Won.
Evan Campbell.
Evan Campbell. No, I don't remember him. Sorry.
Little tailback for them. Had 1,500 yards on some of Fred Richard's first good teams up there. Was the other one a good interview, good kid. Trent Hosick did not play that year.
Hosick was sitting out. He came back.
Yeah, and then he came back as a junior. In fact, they probably, I don't know, people at Lee Summit West might argue with you. If they'd had Hosick his sophomore year, they might have gotten Lee Summit West and gone down and won state championship.
What year was the legendary game?
That was
60-something, both in the 60s, whatever.
Yeah, that was the next year. I was at that game. That was fantastic. Evan Bain was in that game. Norman Stewart, a lot of good players. So yeah, no, back to Bubba, but no, he was a good dude, and I think it's hard to do what he did, to even just get a contract and make it to the major leagues. I don't care what draft pick you are. It's a little bit better of a science now than it used to be, but it's still hard to do. There's plenty of guys that the Royals had that came up and that never got there, or if they did, they didn't even have. And he got up here and was productive and was able to show what he could do defensively, especially, and he had some good, the 19 and 20 had some good stretches, but I think last year he was in Omaha and he went to the Olympics and won a silver medal last year, and he was in Omaha for parts of the year, and he was kind of their fourth outfielder guy, and I think he kind of saw the writing on the wall, and I think he'll be. I think he lives over out by Gardner still, and I think he's still in town. And I thought that I think Dave Stewart had told me that he bought a truck.
He's on his honeymoon right now, so
he got married. Well, good for him, and now he's one of those guys that really kind of electrified the town of Gardner and really kind of put them on the map.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, took them all the way to the state championship game against Hutch that year in Emporia. Remember well.
Senior year, Blue Valley beat him in the semifinals.
Yes, that was a great game too. Yep.
That's the classic Eric Driscoll telling me that they started that game and Blue Valley marched right down the field on them and scored. And whoever was up in the booth said, "Hey, we can do that all game on them." Like they felt like they could score on Gardner when they wanted to. And Rick McNerlin, who was the defensive coordinator, chimed in.
I know, Rick.
You're gonna need to.
You're gonna need to, yeah.
Because he went crazy. Did he have like 200 yards and 5 touchdowns in that game?
Oh, we brought. I don't remember. We brought out the video though the other day or yesterday whenever he announced his retirement. Yeah, that was. I think
the first play from scrimmage he
ran all over everybody. He's the best 3-sport athlete I've seen as well too. Not just baseball and football, but he was a Division I basketball recruit, and he was an all-state basketball player, and they would just throw oops to Bubba down there in Gardner. So
6'5" could run like the wind.
Yeah.
I mean that's the thing, and he never really get. I think if he had gotten a little, if he maybe thought he was going to focus on football because he was doing all 3 sports, and got his mechanics a little refined in football. He could have been that athletic guy and that kind of thing there. His throwing mechanics were a little rough in spots, but they didn't ask him.
He was at Nebraska to play quarterback.
Yeah.
Back when Nebraska was good.
So no, I would have loved to have seen him as a receiver, tight end or something like that. I think he could have been an NFL guy as a tight end.
Oh,
I think he easily could have with that speed. So.
All right, let's get to some big results last week. So on the Kansas side, Spring Hill losing to Eudora. Spring Hill's first loss of the season coming in week 8. at a Eudora team, which you called it, Dion, was very capable. And Spring Hill played some close games in the Frontier League leading up to that. Eudora finally got them.
Well, and I had a guy from K-Prep say, well, the Frontier League's down this year. And I was like, well, I don't know about that. I think that they had some teams that lost some players like Paola and Lewisburg, and Eudora was a younger team. And I think that at the end of the year, I think this league is looking really good. I think it's a really tough league, and I think Eudora stepping up and beating Spring Hill shows that. But no, you could kind of sense it coming. And Eudora had been in every game. Like every game was a one-score game, and they got the lead on Spring Hill and just kind of ran away from it. It was a very impressive win for them.
Yep. Another good win was Lawrence over Lawrence Free State. That's always going to be a great game. It was again this year. It went down to the wire. Lawrence scores late. It was a tie game. Lawrence scores late and then goes for two, oddly enough. They get it. It works out. Free State comes down and has the ball about at the 20-yard line. One last pass in the end zone falls incomplete. So Lawrence gets the advantage of Free State. I think both those teams are dangerous going to the playoffs.
And playing really well. I mean, Free State had gotten beat by Leavenworth like about a month ago. And then they had been playing really well, of course, knocked off Mill Valley. But Lawrence goes to Leavenworth and Free State back-to-back weeks, plays those two teams and beats them in close games. And I think, Lawrence is a dangerous team. I think Free State's a dangerous team. Jet Deneen is a kid for Free State that's doing everything, and he's almost.
I think he should get some Simone love.
I think so too, and I think it'll be interesting to see. We kind of had some of that discussion today with Ryan Wallace when we were doing the radio show, and Henry Martin's having a good year, and Mikey Pauley and those guys, and great. Grayson Holbert at Blue Valley, Trey Baker at Lee Summit North. A lot of quarterbacks out there. Jet Deneen, he's as much of a dual threat as anybody. He's already got 1,000 yards rushing.
Yeah.
And the one thing that Kevin Stewart told us last week, the Free State coach, he goes, yeah, people think that we don't, we just call quarterback runs all the time. He goes, we call a lot of pass plays that Jet takes off and runs on.
Right. Yeah.
He goes, so
and he's got options too in that passing game. It's a good team. I've seen him.
I think
so that was a good win by Lawrence. Who, you got a D1 coach there, Chesty Lyons.
Yeah, no, I think I'm really looking forward to see it. And for someone who didn't really know Clint Bowen, and every time that he would be the interim guy, people would champion him for the job, and I'm like, man, people in Lawrence love this guy.
Well, you had to, because he lasted through so many coaching changes there at KU. He stuck around. He was on everybody's staff. He was a guy with a great reputation. Loved him at KU. The guys would come in and realize, I want this guy on my staff as well. And so now he's going to coach his son in his senior year.
Yeah, and he seems when a guy comes to he was the interim coach at a couple different times at a Power 5 school, and he's coming on a high school football radio show. It's like you don't know what to expect. Yeah. Let's just say Les Miles, when I interviewed him, it was quite strange, and it was one of those things that you don't know you're going to get. You
talked to Les Miles? Was he coaching somewhere in high school?
No, that was right after he got the KU job. I did a podcast with him, and it was interesting to say the least. And then when I interviewed Eli Drinkwitz last summer, and I said, hey, you got a minute for a quick podcast? And he said to me, he's like, oh, I hope I don't screw it up. And I was like, I've interviewed Les Miles. It's a low bar. Don't worry. And he just kind of laughed. He's like, really? And that's a guy who walks into the room and doesn't really have a sense of, he's just like, hey, I'm Eli Drinkwitz. Nice to meet you.
All right, let's talk about, all right, I don't know much about this. You were telling me beforehand. University Academy, turned with the win, turned the entire Missouri football playoff system on its head here. What happened?
Well, they were sitting in the 4 seed, and they're in a district with Mid Buchanan, East Buchanan, West Platte.
Those Class 1 district in Missouri.
The KCI teams in the KCI conference all around St. Joe, and they Mid-Buck is undefeated. They were in the state championship game last year. East Buck has 1 loss to Mid-Buck. West Platte has 2 losses to East Buck and Mid-Buck. University Academy came in the last week with 3 losses to Pembroke Hill, Windsor, who's the number 1 ranked team in Missouri Class 1, a defending state champion, and Summit Christian, Class 3 team, who has 1 loss by 1 point. So University Academy beaten Van Horn, beaten Kansas City Central. They play a lot of teams that are bigger than them, and not just one class or 2 class.
That helps in the system. You don't have to beat them all, But if you beat some, that really skyrockets your
Yeah.
points.
So they beat East 49-0. And so that catapults them in what was a tight district race. It wasn't like they jumped 17 points or something to the 1 seed. And Twitter on Saturday morning coming out of Northwest Missouri was ready to burn down the entire system.
Yeah,
Like,
because look, they're ahead of, they're 6-3. They're ahead of 7-3 West Platte, 8-1 East Buchanan, and 9-0 Mid Buchanan.
Yeah. So they really are a team that, but
is that the right? I mean, if you had to pick, record aside, in this district, you think University Academy is the one that comes out of it?
I think they've got a really good shot because in the grand scheme of things, the complaints were, this isn't right, this isn't right. Well, they all have to play each other. Really, it just moved East Buck and the game between East Buck and Mid Buck up a week, possibly.
Yeah.
Assuming that one of them would have beaten University Academy in the, Mid Buck would have beaten University Academy. It just changed up the dynamic, but all 4 of those schools will have a chance to do it on the field. And for Ryan Heffley, the head coach of University Academy, who's been going through some tough times the last few years and started a ton of freshmen 3 or 4 years ago who are now seniors, that's a really good football team that has is going to be a tough out for anybody. And they've got the 1 seed and they got home field advantage. And the joke is, when this system first came out in 2012, I can remember getting an email from one Sam Canopic over Pembroke Hill. He emails me on Saturday morning right after it happened, and he said, "We've got it figured out." He goes, "We're going to schedule nothing but Class 6 teams, go 0-9, and have the 1 seed in our district."
Yeah, because that could feasibly do that.
You can feasibly do that. There was the first few years that West Plains, who's now very good, was not very good and was getting drilled by 30 and 40 points. Now, plus 13 is the only point you get. I mean, anything over 13 is academic in terms of how it affects your score. But they were getting drilled. And at one point, because they were playing teams that were above them, they were like Class 5 and Class 6 teams, they were like the 5 seed. And at one point, they looked like they were going to host a game, and they hadn't even sniffed a win. Now, they came back down. I think they were the 7 seed that year. But there are some failings in that you think a team that hasn't won a game. But I don't think you could criticize that, saying a team that's 0-9 is ahead of a 2-7 or a 3-6 team. But you can't say that University Academy hasn't played anybody.
Yeah.
Because they played bigger teams that I hate to tell the KCI conference, they've all played each other, and they've got 7 games on 2 non-cons, and they didn't really step out of non-con. I mean, so it's one of those things that you got to be able to schedule some, and it's just, we're talking about home field advantage. We're not talking, nobody won a district based off the point system. No one was eliminated from the postseason because of the point system.
Right.
I mean, I don't love that St. James, if they beat Lewisburg and Baser Linwood, are playing in the second round because they may be the 2 best teams in 4A.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. So right now, I'd like to change that a little bit, but on the Kansas side. So it's the point system it can always use some tweaks. I don't think but just trashing the whole thing because of one instance is not worth it.
Well, in Class 6, it's harder to manipulate the system because you can't jump up and play a Class 7 school, right? So Class 6, District 4 this year in Missouri, Park Hill South 9-0 record over Liberty North. I think most people would say, okay, Liberty North played a much tougher schedule, maybe deserves that number 1 seed. How do you make that district out? Is that seeded the right way?
I think Liberty North's the best team, but Liberty North played a tougher schedule, and they had one less game.
They had one less game, too. That matters. You're right.
That hurts them as much. Losing the game to Staley to COVID hurts them as much as losing at Bentonville, which at the beginning of the season, I wrote a column and said, if you have to cancel because of COVID, that it should go as a forfeit. So they would have got their plus 13, and they would have gone on with their day, and it would have been just like they played the game. Liberty North takes the hit there for no fault of their own for playing one less game. And Park Hill South, who is a good football team, and if they were in Class 5, they would easily be the class of Class 5, who's up in Class 6, has only played one Class 6 team, and that's Lee Summit, and they went to overtime in that game. It's their conference. It's the way it's set up. That's out of their control. They've gone out and won every game that was put in front of them. They've got Blue Spring South this week, and I live in Blue Spring South. You see, this is my first hat I ever got back when they won the state title in 2011. And I was just at a school function, and someone's like, well, Blue Spring South's going to beat him, right? I'm like, are you guys, come on. Park Hill South's a good football. Blue Spring South hasn't won a game.
Well,
And I'm not trying to be down on Blue Spring South, but yes, does Park Hill South not play the same level of competition? No, but they've beaten teams that would have beaten some other Class 6 teams. It's not just there's no dividing line that says you need to play six class 6 teams. But I think Park Hill South will be interesting if they get past Blue Spring South.
they can play Park Hill.
They can play Park Hill, which I think is a better matchup for them versus Rockhurst. And I think that Rockhurst is a bad matchup, just the way the style of play they want to play versus Park Hill South. But Park Hill South is a good football team, and they went undefeated. They did what they were supposed to do. And if you're Liberty North, in the grand scheme, if you end up going and you got to beat Park Hill South anyway, whether it was your place as the 1 seed, if it gets to that, or their place as the 2 seed, and also if you're Liberty North, if you go to the 2 seed and Francis Howell wins out that district as the 1 seed, if you play Francis Howell in the semifinals, you get to play it here. So you don't ever have to leave the city before you go to Columbia for the state championship.
And the winner of that Park Hill South, Blue Spring South game gets to go scout because Park Hill and Rockhurst play the very next day.
Yeah, they play on Saturday, which I think is an interesting game and is going to be Joe Leggio, the tailback for Rockhurst, has been out the last couple of weeks. They said he's maybe going to make it back this week. That was a 2-point conversion in overtime game the first time around. That they stuffed Leggio at like the 1 yard line. They were like the first and last team to stop him there for about a month when he was getting 40 carries and 250 yards every week. And because he's such a load, he's like 6'1", 255 pounds. And so no, I think that's a great game on a Saturday, and it's going to be interesting. Like I said, that district is outside of Liberty North, who I think is definitely easily the top team in that district. There's a lot of interesting games. I mean,
there are.
So yeah, that's definitely an interesting one.
Yep. And then in District 3 of Lee Summit North, who's the number 1 seed, along with Lee Summit West, they're playing those Southwest Missouri schools, which, first of all, I can't believe the Nixon, Ozark are Class 6 schools. My goodness, they're just exploding down there. But they play some football down there now. Joplin has a good team. Carthage in, I believe, Class 4 or 5, I can't remember.
They're in 5. They're really good.
They're a really good team as well. They're picking it up. For so long, they've been the punching bags by whatever Kansas City team comes down there and plays them in that district. Not anymore, it seems like.
Yeah, Nixa beat Lee Summit West last year and then came up and played Ray Peck pretty tough in the semifinals. And that's who Lee Summit West has this year again. They go down there again for the second straight year. And then Lee Summit's got Joplin, and Coach Errol Wamsgons went to the Lee Summit Staley game last week, and he's picking Lee Summit to beat Joplin. He said Lee Summit exploded, and he goes, they look good.
Who are you picking?
I picked Joplin. So I think that Lee Summit is good. I think they're a pretty good team that if they didn't play anywhere else in the state would probably have a much different looking record. But no, they've got a chance though. They've definitely got a puncher's chance in this game. And they were down 20-7 to Staley the other night.
Yeah.
And scored 48 or 49 straight points, I think that was.
Wow.
49 straight points, and then they won 58-26. So, So yeah, it's 28-56 is what it was. So no, it's going to be interesting in that Class 6 districts.
Yeah.
Lee Summit North, the thing for them is they're staring down. Ray Peck gets Kickapoo and they get Ozark. That they both should easily win those games. Ray Peck in the district semifinals, and Lee Summit North. This is a Ray Peck team that's figured out how to score. So it's definitely going to get tougher down the line for Lee Summit North if they want to get out of that district, get their first ever district title. They've never won a district title in school history.
All right, let's get to your Remax Big 3 games. We'll start on the Kansas side here, Blue Valley Southwest and Leavenworth. That's a rematch.
Rematch.
Mistaken, right?
7-point win for Blue Valley Southwest about a month and a half ago. I think it was their last win. And they've been, running through the Blue Valley School District and teams and really kind of struggling with that. Leavenworth's playing good football. Eddie McLaughlin, their quarterback, is tough. I've had 2 different coaches say, man, he beat you with his feet. And, I said, well, they make the joke that one of the coaches said he looks like Kyler Murray back there. And Anthony Ork said, he goes, the kid's got a cannon. He's not very big, but he goes, he could throw it anywhere he wants to. And he goes, and if you don't, and if he decides to run, he'll run past you. So they've got a weapon and they're playing well. Leavenworth has really taken advantage of being in the UKC, the new United Kansas Conference, playing teams more that are like them, and building experience and confidence in their ability to play. because a lot of times they'd be in the Sunflower League.
Mhm.
And even if they got to the Shawnee Mission North, and if they were down, or Shawnee Mission South, some teams that were down, they still had to pull the Olathe North and the good teams in the Sunflower League, and they get beat up. They just get beat up, and they have no confidence getting drilled. But now they've got they play Lansing every year, which is a natural rivalry. So this is a tough game for both these teams in the first round of the playoffs. It's probably the best first round playoff of anybody in 5A, 6A, and 4A on the Kansas side that we have.
Yeah. We've established it's the worst week out there for Kansas City high school football, but we have mined some gems here for the Remax Big Three. You mentioned Lansing. They're taking on Paola. Is that at Paola?
It's at Paola. Lansing played Platte County last week and found out it's tough to score on Platte County. And talked to Coach Brown. Caden Crawford, their outstanding linebacker, plays some quarterback for them, is back this week. The Iowa commit. So it's anytime you have a guy who's going to Iowa to play linebacker, you probably want to get him on the field as best they can. Paola has Giovanni Blackie is back on the field, their tailback for them, and they've been really playing well the last few weeks. Their defense is not as stout as it's been. So this could be a shootout, especially if Crawford's playing well. And this is a game that, both these teams really want to get a win in, and it's playoffs, they definitely want to get a win, but I think it's going to be pretty competitive. That's one of those games I really like.
Very nice. And then lastly, in Kansas, Lewisburg going to St. James. Does Lewisburg have enough to give St. James, who's maybe playing as good as any team in the city right now, a run for their money?
I want to give Lewisburg a lot of credit. I think they're playing a lot better. And I want to apologize to them right now because they're playing the team that's playing better than almost anyone in the Metro right now. St. James is just killing people. I mean, they went from seriously
in the EKL, in the toughest league out there.
They went from not being able to put 10 points on the board to putting 40 every single week. It didn't matter who they're playing. And they played Blue Valley Northwest early, Blue Valley early. That some really good teams early, but they beat Blue Valley North and Bishop Miangas the last 2 weeks. And Jackson House, their quarterback, is really playing well. They've gotten healthy, and their offensive line has played together now. They were really inexperienced, and this team itself may be better than the one from last year. They had Jimmy White and
James White,
and Dakota Bird at quarterback. They've found a receiver, as a basketball player came out. Nissen, this big tall guy, is really Tyler Claiborne's like 6'2", 6'3". This kid's like 6'5". They can just throw it up to him. It's taking the heat off of Tyler Claiborne. He's got more yards than Claiborne. But that makes it even more dangerous when you've got a guy who might be the best receiver in the Metro that doesn't get any double teams anymore. And their defense is playing better. So St. James and it's Lewisburg's playing. They're one of those teams in the Frontier that got better as the season went on. Younger team, but unfortunately they're playing the team that got really, really good as the season went on, and maybe in a position to make. No one's going to win. I don't say no. You don't want to say that, but Miage's run was amazing.
Yeah.
St. James looks like they may be looking at back-to-back at least.
Well, and then if you recognize the name Jackson House, you should. His dad, Matt House, is linebackers coach for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes.
So there's some good football blood in that family.
Yeah, he's done a great job just triggering that offense.
Yeah.
And so they've got some size in line that they're bigger than they were last year, and they've got guys who are juniors that are bigger. So that's when you're in 4A, you could put guys who compete with 5A and 6A linemen on the field. That's just such an advantage. I mean, you just win so many games because of that.
Yep. All right, and over on the Missouri side, Oak Park and Staley. This is a rematch of a game a few weeks ago. There was a close game, and this is a game that Staley won, but Oak Park has to feel confident about it and making it competitive again.
Yeah, I talked to Coach Clemens about it. He goes, well, that game, we went down and scored. There's 2 minutes left, and we were all like, hey, we won. And then Staley went right back down the field and scored on us. And he goes, so we really that was a game that he goes, we point to that we feel like, hey, we should have taken care of our business there. He goes, and we didn't. And he goes, it's one of those things that he goes, he likes it. His team's playing really well. They're throwing the ball a lot more than they have before. Some kid named Clemens who's playing quarterback, Ty Clemens, is having a really good season. They're now starting a freshman tailback who has had some big numbers for them. So this Oak Park project has been, he took over 5 years ago when he came over from Liberty North, and Liberty North was in a much better place when he left it there than Oak Park was. And Oak Park was having problems just getting kids out and they redistricted some in North Kansas City, so it kind of brought some new blood into that program, and you're finally starting to see it. It takes some time at Oak Park, but you're finally starting to see some of that turn. And Staley, of course, under Steve Rampy, had been up and down. They played pretty well the first week, and then they had COVID out a week, and they played well at times. They got to win over Oak Park, and then they're playing. It looked like they were playing pretty well last week against Lee Summit. It's in a drop of a hat. It was over, but no, that's a good. I think that'll be a 7-point game. I fully expect that to go right down the line.
Be close. We'll be there for KSHB 41 under the lights on Friday at 10. All right, Harrisonville and Grandview. Why are you picking this one?
Well, I want to see what Harrisonville team shows up. I don't really know if they're the team that beat Maryville and Wayne Hills, New Jersey to start the season, or the team that got beat 55-6, and the 6 came in the last minute to center, or got beat 40-something to 12 or whatever by Odessa last week. I don't know what team they are. Jace Reynolds has gone from putting up 250 yards on 15, 20 touches a game to touching the ball 10 times and going 40 yards. Grandview, I felt like that they would be better than they've been this year. Dan Joyner, their first year coach, I really like him as a coach. I think he's going to do good things there. But they just he said that he goes we have to we beat ourselves. Mm-hmm. Penalties and things like that. He goes, that's where we have to take the step forward. He goes, we've got good talent. We got kids who play hard, they work hard, we got good enthusiasm. He said, we just have to get better. And that's a lot of first year program stuff. I mean, that's the situation there. So those are 2 teams, and the winner gets Lincoln Prep. So, it's definitely a game to keep an eye on, because Lincoln Prep, after beating Center last week, if you didn't think they were for real, I think they're more for real this year.
I do too. I think they maybe don't have the star power as they've had the last couple of years, but they're maybe more consistent across the board. And a lot of times that's the better thing. So, yeah. Last but not least, Van Horn, Excelsior Springs. That's going to be our game of the week on KSHB 41. We'll be live out there in our 6 o'clock show. Have a report game afterward, highlights, all that stuff. Hey, Excelsior Springs, they're the streak busters, right, Dion?
Yeah, they are. They beat Odessa. That's a team that's still a lot of juniors on that one, and they were in a dogfight with Pleasant Hill last week. But if you should go to look at Pleasant Hill's record, everything's like a 1-score, 1-point game. They are the. Oak Grove is playing Pleasant Hill this week, and if you want to watch a good football game, go down to the line. Follow Pleasant Hill wherever they go, because they're going to be in it, and it's going to be crazy. So good win for Excelsior Springs, and they're playing a Van Horn team that I think has improved under Rashad Bird, their first year head coach, when following William Harris, who went over to Raytown South. And this is a good old school option team in Excelsior Springs against a little bit more athletic and wide open team in Van Horn. So it's a 4-5. I think Excelsior is definitely probably the favorite. They've got a little more just experience playing the teams in their league in the MRVC West. But let's not forget that the Crossroads Conference was much improved this year. University Academy is a 1 seed. Summit Christian has lost 1 game. Yeah. Bishop Ward, who only plays, I think, 1 or 2 games in that conference because their district is 4-4. So they had a little bit better schedule this year, and that helps. That has helped Van Horn. They're a little bit more experienced than they've been, because they've been years where they would go 7-2 and just get drilled by an Excelsior the first round of the playoffs. They may not have as good a record, but maybe a little bit more competitive this time around.
Yeah, awesome stuff. It just about does it. You have anything else?
No, just like I said, this is the beginning of the hats for me. Jaguar football.
First one you got. This is Adidas. This was not given to me. I had to buy it. And a lot of people ask, why did you spend money on this? And I'm like, I don't know.
I can see you wearing that on a golf course.
Swear I wear it.
That looks like a
golf course hat.
No, I will say though, I did get a call. I have to go get it. But I will have either next week or the week after a new hat, because I got a call about the hat I was wearing in one of our other podcasts that the head coach said he listened to and he never watched, but the assistant coaches had watched it and told him that, oh man, he's wearing hats for people like that. And he's like, you need a hat. So
give us a hint. Is this Kansas or Missouri side?
It's Missouri side. So it was a Missouri. I need more. I've got St. James and Mill Valley. So those are the 2 Kansas ones I have. I have a few more on the Missouri side, and I need to get in. If I have to, I'll break out my son's try and squeeze that Green Valley.
Yeah, you should.
So.
Awesome, Dion. Appreciate the time. Thanks to you as well for watching or listening to Snap Tackle Pod. Enjoy your Friday night. Hope your teams win and all that stuff. We'll be back here next week as we roll along in the playoffs in Kansas and Missouri. See you then.